Welcome to Hope Natural Health, the podcast inspiring you to be your best version. Join me, your host, Dr. Erin, naturopathic doctor, dog mom, cancer survivor, and girl boss weekly as we discuss all things health, hormones, and happiness with a little side of this thing called life. Welcome, Gillean. I am so excited that you're here today. You are actually my first guest on my brand new podcast. And I chose you, and we'll talk about why I chose you to be the first guest, because you just launched something super, super exciting, and we'll talk about that. But first, we need to know who the heck you are and why I brought you on the show. And we met, almost a little bit over a year ago through Powerhouse.
2 years,
Women.
Yeah,
right before
the
the
pandemic. Oh my gosh,
pandemic.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. The pandemic has my time lapses. I don't even know where we are. I feel like it's pre and post pandemic these days, right? Yeah.
So we were right before pandemic, in the midst of it, through the Powerhouse Women Mastermind.
That's right, because we joined, and then we were all had all these great ideas for our businesses, and then luckily we were all just a support system for each other because everything changed so fast.
We had to reimagine.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we connected, and we just became good friends because we have like-minded health and wellness industry. So tell me a little bit more about you and how you got into what you're doing.
Yeah. So, do we want to go back to 8th grade?
Sure.
I remember it was actually the summer after 8th grade, and my aunt, who had always been in nutrition and a career in nutrition, she took me to see the movie Super Size Me. Have you ever seen that? Where the guy eats McDonald's for 30 days. And I just remember being fascinated by that and seeing how his health totally declined in just 30 days of eating, not so great food consistently. And at that point, I just knew I was interested. So in high school, I did sports. So I did pay attention to what I ate because I did cross country and soccer. So getting the right amount of carbohydrates and stuff. So that was a big part of making sure you perform well. I'm like you. A little competitive.
Yeah.
I like to win. So anything I could do to get the edge, I was all for it. And then, after high school, they were okay, choose what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And so nutrition was something that I was I'll start here. If I don't like it, I'll change. So I studied nutrition, and then they have a cool program at Arizona State to do your master's and dietetic internship. So I just did 2 years of that, and then it's been such a journey of, working on the corporate side and getting a lot of skills there. But then I always had this side hustle thing. My first blog was called The Skinny on Nutrition. It was so bad, Erin. Oh my gosh.
The Skinny on Nutrition.
And it had horrible, you know this because I'm spelling grammar is not my expertise. So I love that you always help me there. But this was beyond where I am now. So I remember if I looked at the blogs that I wrote then, they were so bad.
Oh my gosh.
But it was I just had this entrepreneurial spirit. And then I came up with Millennial Nutrition, an idea that I got in the shower, of course, where your best ideas come after being at a nutrition conference, and just kind of ran with it. So working with brands, developing programs, trying stuff out and deciding I didn't like it anymore, which has been really refreshing, and just, kind of figuring out exactly where I want to be.
Awesome. What is the premise or mission statement behind Millennial Nutrition?
So my goal is to make nutrition super simple and convenient for millennial women. So I know, health, nutrition, it can feel super overwhelming, super complicated. And I just want to boil it down. I always share taking one thing off of your to-do list, right? Because we always have a million things we're trying to get done. So if you can feel really confident in your nutrition and not feel like that's just another thing weighing on your shoulders, that's my goal. Is I'll help you there. There's probably something else you can help me with, right? We all have our own skills, but that's the one thing I want to help with is just make you feel good with your nutrition.
Good, yeah, because it shouldn't be hard.
No, and honestly, when you really get into the swing of things, we're all creatures of habit, right? So when you get into your routine and your habits, it really almost becomes a reflex. You don't even have to think about it that much. And honestly, I feel like that's been one of my superpowers is, I don't have some dramatic weight loss story or some huge transformation or health thing. I know you had your journey with cancer and how that really changed your perspective on health. But for me, this is actually a superpower in that it's always been ingrained in me. And for me, it's thinking of what to eat and saying, okay, I want to have some of this maybe a little indulgent meal, but not feeling like I have to overdo it. It's been something ingrained in me for so long. So I want to help people feel that same way, feel that reflex or feel like it's not this stress on them to just figure out what to do or how to eat healthy.
Oh, yeah. And I hear that every day in the office. It's like, well, I don't know where to start, or I don't have time to cook, or I'm not a big cooker.
Right.
But that's one of the things that you teach people is like the no recipe.
Yes.
And you don't need to have like a tablespoon of this and a cup of this.
Okay, so I have to tell you how this started. All of my ideas usually come selfishly of how like I like things, and I hate measuring things. For me, like that measuring cups are just extra dishes. And so I never, I mean, if I'm baking something or if I'm doing, you know, like a TV segment or something where I want to have it displayed in measuring cups, I'll do that. But like I almost never use measuring cups because for me, it's just like I hate doing them. In fact, the way that no recipe came up was I was on a call with a mentor. This is like one of the first times I invested in a mentor, like very long time ago. And she said to me, like, would you ever do a recipe book? And I was like, no, I hate measuring. I hate creating recipes. No way. And I said, I'm more about like no recipes. And she was like, oh,
well, there's your recipe book.
Yes. And so I was like, okay, I'm here for that. Yeah, I like that idea. So I still get people that are sometimes like, hey, like, can you tell me exactly how much this is? And I think there's in some recipes I do want to give a little more guidance.
Right.
You don't want it to turn out bad, but in general, they're designed to be foolproof, right? So that you can swap things out. Again, not being stressful of like having to get it perfect.
Yeah, but there are some people out there that are like, I need that. And we have a mutual friend.
Yes, I know our friend Jess. Hey, Jess, if you're tuning in, she wants it to be perfect. She will message me. Can you tell me the exact recipe?
Exactly. So funny. When we're talking about diet, like what do you think is like the biggest diet, because I know you don't like that word.
No. Yeah.
And you're a registered dietitian. But what do you think the biggest diet misconception is?
Okay, I was thinking about this on the way over here, actually, because, you know, I could say so many things, right? But I think what it kind of came down to, as much as, like, there is this, like, if we want to use terms here, cancel culture around the word diet, right? It's, like, more about wellness and lifestyle, which I am totally on board with that. I don't think these, like, really like fad ways to like jump in and that can be unhealthy and actually harmful to your health, right? Like that's not what I'm all about. But I also was thinking there is a misconception on understanding that sometimes people do want to just like be more strong with their decisions and really focus on making some changes. And for a long time, that was called going on a diet, right? And I mean, you just don't hear people saying that anymore, right? But for a long time, like I remember my aunts and stuff, it was like, oh, I'm on a diet.
Yes.
Like, it was like kind of a cool thing. Feel like I can't eat that, I'm on a diet. And so, I don't know, I guess what I wanted to share was it's okay if you want to just kind of like take your, like really hold on, make some changes, change some habits, and not feel like that's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a diet, I can't share it with anyone, you know? Because sometimes you do want to like be more strict with things or really set yourself up for more success and get rid of some habits that were like not serving you anymore, right? So. And
usually if you do that, then you're going to have a lifestyle of healthy eating and not like this restrictive diet.
I know. The word diet is just such a, I mean, really, a diet is like, it's really what you're eating. It's your eating habits, right? Yeah. And it just has gotten into like this whole other name and understanding. So I think it's just a matter of reframing it a little bit.
Right. So if someone is struggling, because this happens all the time in my office, and I know the answer, but let's talk to the dietitian professional. If they're struggling with their diet, where do you often say this is where you should start?
Yeah. I mean, and this is, I think, really just first, talking to a professional is probably one of the best places, right? I mean, we have to say that. Like, a lot of times there's just so much stuff out there. So if you fall into someone that really doesn't have your best intentions, and I'm not saying like you have to be a dietitian to give. There's honestly, I know some amazing nutritionists that are fantastic and super knowledgeable. But I do think dietitians really do have that expertise because that's what we focus on, what our schooling is and what our world is for so long. Same thing with your profession, right? You have so much understanding of nutrition too. But I do think, it's kind of like evaluating where you're at, working with someone, and I think it's not overcomplicating, right? So just like really paying attention to what you're eating. Probably if I had to like boil it down, actually one of my friends not too long ago, she was like, okay, like Gillean, I want to eat healthier. Like, what do I do? And I told her, just watch your portions. Like that's a first start. Like let's just watch how much you're eating. Because again, when you get into the how much and like how the different amounts and what am I eating, it can get really complicated. So I like to share my dinner formula, which is one of my go-to little tricks. And that really helps with portions without, again, no measuring, right? We hate measuring cups. But if you look down at your plate, you want half of it to be vegetables, a quarter of it to be a protein, and a quarter to be a grain or a starch. And so that's just like, I like that idea of just helping make sure that your plate is balanced, right? And making sure that you're, again, getting those right amount of portions. I also love my snack formula, which is, we're snackers, right, in between meals. So a lot of times, like, snacking, I think, can be really beneficial as like a bridge between meals, because if you get to lunch or dinner and you're starving, you probably need a little something in between so that you don't feel that way, because when you are feeling really famished, like, you're not going to eat healthy, right? We both know that. I mean, like, I still get those feelings, like, when you, like, go all day where you did not eat, and the last thing you want is, like, a salad with chicken, right?
Right. No.
You're going to want the burger.
Or, sandwich, or all of the lots of carbs.
Exactly. So my snack formula is a fruit or veggie with a protein or healthy fat. So it's really easy pairings, and the protein and healthy fat is going to keep you full. So those are harder for your body to digest, right? So it takes longer, and so it sits in your stomach, and there's little signals going to your brain saying, like, no, there's food in here. I'm not hungry. But then you want some sort of carbohydrate, some natural sugars from a fruit or a vegetable, because that gives you energy.
Right.
So we don't want to feel sluggish or lethargic during the day either. So if you pair the two together, that is where the magic happens. And I've totally, like, had moments where I, like, just grab the apple running out the door, and I'm like, oh, I feel it. Like, I feel that little burst of energy, and then I'm, like, hungry 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Or, like, I just grab, like, a handful of nuts, and it's like, okay, like, I know I'm not hungry, but I feel, like, so tired and, like, sluggish. So you'll notice when you pay attention to that how you really feel.
Yeah. What is your opinion on calories?
You know, I am not, like, a calorie tracker or anything like that, although I will say, like, some people, that's great for them, and if that's what, like, works for you, I have really come to realize that, you know, in school they teach you all these things, textbook, right?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I still see it to this day, and I, again, no hard feelings, but sometimes people are just, like, bashing so many things, and I just feel like there's no point in bashing another system or program or protocol, again, unless it's, like, super harmful to your body. Like, we don't want someone to have those types of issues, right?
Right.
But I also think, like, we're all so different, and I have come to realize, like, what works for me is not going to work for everybody. And so, like, if that really works for you and you feel really good with it, for me, it's too tedious, right? I'm about simple, convenient. Like, tracking calories, no thank you. I do not have time for that.
Right. Yeah, it's another full-time job.
Yeah. I do think for some people it is, like, a good educational point, like, a good learning. To, like, just, like, understand, like, if you ask someone, like, how many calories do you eat a day, and they have no idea. Like, tracking them for, like, a week just to see where you're at, it's really informational, right? So, again, for me, I think, in general, like, tracking calories and stuff, don't have time for it, but I do think it's something to be knowledgeable about.
Oh, yeah, and I have patients that they're tracking every single day. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how you do that. I can't do that. But then I have the other side of the spectrum where they're coming in and they want to lose weight, and so we do a whole, you know, diet recall, and I'm like, well, how many calories do you think you're eating? And they're like,
no idea.
No idea. And so then I'll tell them, I'm like, well, hey, let's track for like 2 or 3 days, because they're typically eating like the same things, and then we can get a better look at what's going on as far as caloric intake. And again, like, I had someone do that, and she messaged me and she says, oh my gosh, I had no idea I was eating that many carbs.
Yeah, it can be really mind blowing if you, like, have never done it before. So yeah, I think it's a good, like, you'll learn a lot if you do it. And, like, I love that you're doing it for just, like, a short time period. Again, like, not to feel overwhelmed by it. Like, let's just see where you're at, and then you can make changes that really suit you.
Oh yeah, because I'm a kind of a type A personality too, where it's like, well, it has to be perfect. If I'm supposed to get 1,500 calories and I've only got 1,450, crap, I got to eat 50 calories. And then I'm like, what's in my pantry that's 50 calories? Because I can't go over. Yeah. I know. But then I'm like, crap, I just ruined it. But that's my Enneagram 6 in me that has to be, like, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know that the reason I brought you on is because you just launched something so cool, and I was probably your first person to sign up, but I also helped you test it. And tell me about it.
Yeah, so I launched a new membership. It's called the What's for Dinner Club. And like you said, I'm just obsessed with it. It is so fun. Like, I've learned on this journey of being an entrepreneur, like, there's been times where I do stuff because other people are doing it or felt like I had to. And this whole concept came, again, selfishly from what I really like. It includes these no recipe recipes, and it's simple and convenient. And it's really something that I just have incorporated, like, okay, what elements could be fun and enjoyable in here? So the whole concept of it is, through the What's for Dinner Club, like, I'm going to help you with that question. What's for dinner?
Yeah.
Right? We've all been there, and it's like you're like, you go back and forth, and then you're like, let's just get takeout, right? I don't even know. Or you're so exhausted at the end of the day, and you don't know what to make. You don't feel like cooking, and you're not prepared, so you just eat whatever's left over in the fridge. So I think just preparation is really, really key there. So with the What's for Dinner Club, I do it all through text. Another one of my pet peeves is like too many Facebook groups, too many emails. I can't.
Yep.
So it's all through text. And so every week you get texted for what I call, again, no recipes, simple meals with a grocery list. And the whole idea of that, of doing the 4, is it gives you so much flexibility, right? Because we know, like, in a given week, usually what I do is I have 4 meals that I'm, prepared for, and then I have one night that I am prepared with like some sort of frozen meal quick, maybe just like a Trader Joe's pizza or a quick stir fry, something you can do really fast. And then one night I know is going to be leftovers, because usually we'll have food left over in the fridge that we want to eat up.
Right.
I hate wasting food.
Oh yeah.
So I'm all about having leftovers. And then there's at least one night that you eat out, or we're eating at our family's house or something like that. So the 4 no recipes, they're simple, they're healthy, they're easy. The ingredients interchange between the recipes. Have you noticed that?
I did,
okay.
yeah.
So again, hate wasting, and also saving on budget too. So if you have like a lasagna recipe that includes spinach in it, let's also add spinach into this like pita pocket, right? Like, what ways can we use the ingredients versus having to buy so many different things
Exactly.
and then never use them?
Well, yeah, and that's where people get frustrated too, because they buy these meal plans because they're set to be like, okay, I want to be healthier. And then the ingredient list is 50 items long, and then you left with a giant grocery bill, and then you have all this food, and you're just so overwhelmed, and then you just don't make any of it.
I know. It's like, it does not help. And then you have stuff that's just like rotting in your fridge, right?
Yes.
So again, super simple and easy. With each recipe, again, they're just healthy, balanced meals. With each recipe, I do include like a gluten-free alternative, a plant-based alternative, and then a kid-friendly option too, right? So, I mean, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they're not always going to eat like a delicious vegetable bean soup, right? So like, what can we do to give them something, but also not feel like you're making a million meals, right? So I'm trying to think of like one that we did like these buffalo tempeh pita pockets, right? So you could use the pitas and make little like cheese crisps for them, right?
Right.
So still using the same ingredients and not feeling like, you
make
a ton of
another meal.
Exactly.
Yeah, you also add on there 2 little tips to like add more greens.
Yep, and add more
or
greens,
spice.
Or I'll do like another quick prep hack. Like if it says rice, like if you like to do your rice on the stove, go for it. I am like the girl that pops it into the microwave, so I'll put like a quick prep hack, like a quick way that you could do that. Or maybe if it calls for like chopped up veggies, I would say get the like pre-chopped ones in the deli section. You don't have to worry about it. So
or the bag salad.
Yep,
that's a quick hack.
All that stuff. So making it really easy. And of course, I said it has to be fun. So as a member, you also have opportunities to win a monthly giveaway.
Yeah.
So every month, if you, every entry you get is when you take a picture of one of the meals you made and tag me, and then I keep track of it. And there's a giveaway every month. So this month it's actually, I work with Ninja Blender. So we're doing a Ninja Foodie Smoothie Bowl Maker, which is one of my favorite products I have. But I have a whole lineup of Ninja products coming.
Oh, how fun.
Yes. So for the next 6 months or so. So
oh, cool.
And, it'll be something different every month. So we're doing that, and then also like loyalty prizes. So I was like, let's have some like fun with giveaways and stuff. So at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months, I have some planned loyalty prizes that I'll send out to people just to thank them for being a part of it. Yeah, and who doesn't like to get free stuff, right?
And for everyone out there, this is ridiculously inexpensive.
Yes, I know, $1 a day.
$1 a day.
Yes. So
to have these recipes in your text, like I get so excited, it comes out at like 1
on Thursdays.
On Thursdays, and I look at it, and I just actually put the hashtag or What's for Dinner Club, like added you as a contact, because I get these numbers and I'm like, what is this number? So now I have the What's for Dinner text contact in my phone. The link, you go on, it's on your phone, so if you're at the store and you have no access to your email or something, then you can just pull up your list or use Instacart and have all of the groceries delivered to you.
I'm an Instacart gal, so I usually just, and like you said, so the text comes through, it has a link to this PDF, and there's the grocery list, and then you have each one of the no recipes listed. So like you said, you can save that PDF right to your phone. Yeah. Or if you have the contact saved on your phone, just like you can always go through that. And then I save all of them to this like archive on my website as well. So once you become a member, you can go into this archive if you want to see past weeks, or I also have resources in there with different tools like my dinner formula, snack plan, all that's in there. And then I actually just did a bunch of videos too. So that's another little perk, is every month you'll get a free training from me. So
cool.
I'll be texting those out. So get ready. I know.
Ooh,
you haven't even seen that yet.
I know. That's like new and fun.
Yes, exactly.
I've on it. Well, we're on our 3rd week.
Yes.
Third week.
The 3rd one out.
Yeah, and I've only made 1 recipe, and that's my bad. But we've had life happen. Of course, I get all these recipes. I'm so excited. I've made 1, but I used it for dinner. Like it was a sweet potato nachos. And then I reused it for breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, here I've got a good, carb and some protein. And then I added eggs to it and I had the healthy fat. Like I had
That is the perfect.
It was so good.
That no recipe. That's what it's all about. It's
exactly.
Like taking it and like just making it your own. Like the whole idea of it is to give you some inspiration, make it really easy. But like, okay, if you are gonna make something and you realize that you already have leftover chicken, just throw it in. Like if it's a soup and it's a beef soup, well, I have leftover chicken. I want to put it in there too. That's fine.
Right,
so,
add it.
It's just meant to be really flexible with you and not
easy. Easy is the word,
Yes.
and that's what Millennial Nutrition is all about: is
that's
making
what
it
it is.
easy and sustainable. And that's what I preach to my patients. I'm like, diet should not be hard.
Yeah.
Should not be difficult,
shouldn't.
and people are making it way more complicated than it should be.
Yeah, and I do too like that. When I'm developing the recipes, I want them to have a little bit of flair, a little something different. Like I don't want it to be just like ho hum, like chicken, broccoli, and brown rice. Like no, thank you.
Like meal prep services.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes. Like I wanted to have some variation, so we'll just do like little twists on them. Like we made these grown-up English muffin pizzas, and so we used like Ezekiel bread and then sauce, cheese, and just to like do a little bit of leveling up, we did some fresh tomatoes, some fresh basil, a little arugula on top, and then you can drizzle it with olive oil. Like those two, like 3 little things on top made it feel so decadent. So it's not just like the boring stuff. Like let's make it like fun.
Oh no, the meals are not boring.
Yeah.
Not boring at all. They're fun. And it opens your eyes to like new ideas too.
Yeah.
And I think even through the recipes you teach about how to cook.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I never thought about that, or add this, or do this. Like
I have to give a
stuff.
shout out to Teresa. She's my virtual assistant, and she's a chef, so she comes up with so many good ideas.
Nice.
So I'm giving Teresa a little shout out because she is a genius when it comes to this stuff. I give her like concepts, and then she just like goes to town and comes up with such fun ideas. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's been so good, and like I said, like pretty much just selfishly made it for myself because I like having it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a couple weeks ahead of where we're at. I think I'm on like week 11 or something.
Oh,
right
wow.
now.
Okay.
So I've been obviously working ahead to test stuff out in case I need to change things. But I love it. Like I love having it planned. And like you said, when you're going grocery shopping, it's not like I used to sit there and be like, okay, like what am I going to make?
Right.
You know? It's like you spend 10 minutes just even thinking, and then you got to make the list versus like, here it is. I know it's healthy. I know it's easy. Got the grocery list, make a few adjustments or changes depending on who's eating dinner that night or if I want to add any other things in and call it good.
Or you're sitting through that cookbook, which I've laughed hysterically at your reel that you made with like trying to hold the cookbook down to find the recipe, which is so true.
I really had this. I dumbed it down because originally I was going to do it with like pasta sauce and having like when you're trying to like open the pasta and the pasta spill.
Oh gosh.
It was like getting too messy with my new kitchen. I was like, I'm going to back off on this one. But no, yeah.
But it's so true.
Yeah, or like, the Pinterest recipes that you get and they are tons of ingredients, take too long, and it does not turn out the way that the picture looks, and you're like, dang it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's so funny. That recipe book one always cracks me up because, I mean, really one day I would love to have a recipe book just to like have it as collateral and share some great pictures and stuff like that. But every time I think of it, I just think of that reel where I was
you have to make it so that you can open it.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. The recipe book that like does not say open, and then you're like trying to turn the oven on. Like we've all been there. It's no fun.
So funny. And you've gotten pretty good response from this launch, correct?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing to see. And people have been just like every single day. There's more people joining.
So fun.
And that's what makes it there's no, for me, from like an entrepreneurial side, like a lot of times when you launch something, it can be like super overwhelming, stressful. Like you're worried people are going to sign up or not, or if they're going to hate it. And just coming into this and thinking, this is what I would really want, and I'm going to make it designed perfectly like that. Like, for example, one of my my mentors had said, maybe you do like a monthly like Zoom call to like give additional value, and like people could like come in and ask you questions. And I was like, I mean, I personally don't want to attend anyone else's Zoom calls. So like, no,
right.
like I don't want to.
That doesn't feel good for me.
And so it was so nice and refreshing to just be like, no, like this is exactly what I would want. And this is what the busy millennial woman, she doesn't have time for another Zoom call.
No, no.
So we're not doing that, which has been so fun to create it that way.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, we're almost done here, but I am going to be asking all my guests the same question so I can get like a nice little library of these fun responses. But what is your best or favorite health tip that you want to share?
So hard. Okay, I was going to say like hydration or something, but I feel like everyone's going to say that. So I'm going to say one of my favorite things that I have really stuck with is going to the chiropractor and getting a massage. those two things. So I actually go, like they do like a massage before I see the chiropractor.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, I mostly go for the massage, but then the
Yeah.
adjustment is always really good. But that has been from like a wellness standpoint. It just like, it reduces stress. I feel so good. I enjoy going. So that little bit of self-care, and for me just doing it, I mean, I've done it consistently for almost 4 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good.
And, you know, I'm super active. I love to work out, and I feel like as much as that is beneficial,
Yep.
sometimes it does, like, again, competitive, so I will push myself
Yes.
to the point where I'm like, okay, just totally jacked up my back to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that little bit of self-care, and that you know, I feel like when I'm in alignment, I feel better, I have more energy, I sleep better. So that has been such a key thing, a good foundation for me.
Absolutely. And I actually started doing that exact same thing last year.
Yeah.
Well, I hurt my back, and then I just started on like a monthly maintenance. I go to the chiropractor, and I do one massage a month. It's been game-changing. It has kept me healthy in the gym because I lift, you know, I'm pretty hard on myself.
Yeah, see, I feel the same way.
But, and then it's also that self-care.
Yeah. Do you ever do cupping at your massage?
Okay.
Okay.
She did it this last time because I was in a lot of pain. But yes.
That's been my new thing. I remember being so scared to try it because you see like Michael Phelps with all those welts on his body.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, that looks awful. But that is such, like, it relieves stuff so quickly. So, like, yeah, if you feel like sometimes you have to go, like, get a massage multiple times to get something worked out, but I feel like if you do the cupping, it helps so quickly, right away.
And not all massage therapists do that. Like, I'm trained in cupping, so I do cupping
are?
in my
Oh, cool.
office. Yeah.
I'm going to come get you,
Yeah.
have you cup me.
Yeah, I love cupping. It has been so helpful for like just really acute things and helping people loosen up, and everyone's like this lately.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
I
with,
literally
like,
just straightened up when you
I
said
know,
that.
and
like, oh
we're
my
all
gosh.
like in the computer, so our whole back and neck and migraines are running rampant, and it's like, well, you've got to de-stress here. Like, watch your posture.
Do you do there's like the plastic ones, there's glass ones.
So I was trained in glass.
Okay.
With the fire, like that's the traditional Chinese medicine way of doing it, but for safety reasons, I do the
little handheld thing, the like manual. Okay, because I think the last time I was talking to them, they were saying like the ones that are just like plasticky or whatever, that those aren't as like effective. I've tried those, but they said the glass ones and the manual one are definitely the way to go. So yeah, I
use the manual one. I think my massage therapist uses the plastic. I don't know.
It still feels so good though.
It still works. Yes, absolutely.
It's in there. Yeah, it's still gonna leave those circles on your back. So.
And then people are like, "Oh, you did cupping." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot they were there."
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
I forget. And they're on your back. You don't look at your back that often.
I always have to be careful with, because I do like a lot of TV and stuff. But just like if I wear like a tank top or something, sometimes you can see them. So I'm like, okay, if I have something in the next week, like I won't do it, or like photos or video or something.
Yeah, now with summer and vacation or bikinis. But I think now after Michael Phelps, people know what that is. But before, people were like, do you have a disease?
Yes, exactly.
What is on your back? Yeah. Gillean, I can't thank you enough for being here. Is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap up?
I will just say, if you're interested in the What's for Dinner Club, go ahead and text WFD Club, all one word, all put together, to my number, which is 480-531-8604. And you can also just go to my Instagram at Millennial Nutrition, and I have it all in my bio. So if you didn't catch that number, you can go there, and then my website has the information too.
Awesome. And you will not be disappointed if you sign up, because it is amazing. I get excited every week, and I'm already looking at the menu to prep my grocery list and get some meals done for next week.
And if you guys sign up, there's a little note section on the payment page, and let me know that you heard through this podcast, and maybe I'll send you a little something special too.
Well, thanks, Gillean.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all again for being here. If you found value out of this episode, please screenshot it and tag both me and Gillean at Millennial Nutrition. And stay tuned for next week's episode. We are going to be talking all about your thyroid, so you don't want to miss out on this. See you all next week.